was Dr. Ira Kornbluth, President and CEO of Smart Pain Management. He's been able to grow his practice and business very quickly. They're about a total of 10 locations now. Eventually, over time, he'd run issues by me, and little by little, he wound up switching firms. He was working with another firm, and we were able to come in and find those issues. It was unbeknownst to them that wound up saving some of their folks over $1 million.
Mike Spinoza and I met 9 years ago when he was a member of my Emerging Companies Roundtable with the Greater Baltimore Tech Council. We really got to know each other's families, our personal situation. When that particular group disbanded due to the change in the GBTC, we formed together a new peer advisory Emerging Companies Roundtable in connection with the Howard Tech Council.
It really started with a cold call to my office asking if I would sponsor her gala. It's got to be 6 or 7 years ago. And I had never heard of Casey Cares Foundation. So it was just so great opportunity. And since then, I just immersed myself, as I have with the pro bono services, trying to help these children out. And Casey's amazing. She is really amazing. She's inspiring.
So I've known Sanja for probably about 5 years, although I would say we probably didn't really become closer until about 4 years ago. We are both members of the Women's Presidents Organization, and we're flying to a national conference in Dallas and essentially spent 4 hours on a plane laughing the entire time. So the joke is we're twins, but a lot of it is we think and value a lot of things the same way, which makes it really easy to give her advice and be a sounding board to each other.
Joyce Smythe focuses intently on understanding what her clients need from her. She knows that not every approach, from litigation to mediation, is one size fits all, and works one-on-one with her clients to find creative ways to resolve disputes. Kevin has been a long-time client of Joyce's firm's government relations practice and was introduced to him when MD Wineries needed legal advice related to employment law. She admires him for his reasonable and practical leadership style.
The reason that I like working with Brendan is because Brendan is very innovative. He likes business and he loves his business. He loves his customers. And so when he comes to me with ideas or concepts, we get to figure out the ideas and the goals and then do it the way you're supposed to, which is have legal serve the business and make it work.
Chuck came to me, it was probably about 3 years ago. He had a client of his that had been involved in an auto accident. He referred her to my office. We were able to get liability accepted to get her car repaired. She has since referred business to both me and Chuck, so we have helped him reestablish his relationship with the client.
It's a lot of fun to work with groups like Ullman. We had to be a little bit creative in figuring out a way to do a transaction in which it didn't create constraints on cash flow, it mitigated liabilities, and ultimately got them to the place they wanted to go. And they were really a tremendous amount of fun to do the transactions with because they're very creative themselves. And so we really had a fun time thinking outside the box together.
Marc Gulitz of Mid-Atlantic Chiropractic is actually the one who convinced me and pushed me to start my own law firm, and that's how I acquired him as a client for personal injury cases. In fact, we met one day, we had lunch, and he was actually pitching me on why the firm I was at should be sending him work, and ever since then, I tell him that he's responsible for the fact that I started my own law practice.
I've known Shara Boonshaft from law school for about 12 years, and she is the director of development for Ullman, and she introduced us to Brock Yetzo, and everyone there is super energized, and who doesn't want to help young people who are suffering from cancer? It's obviously a terrible illness, and anything we can do to help give back and contribute to that is just really meaningful.
I remember the first large transaction I worked with Peter on, and I remember leaving another law firm having completed that transaction at about 4 o'clock in the morning. That positioned Peter to turn it around and positioned Elliott to become the company it is today.
The best piece of professional advice I ever got was to work hard and immediately answer all of your clients' needs. If you do that, everything else works out for itself. I've known Chris Mechanic and Arsham Mershaw of Web Mechanics for over 6 years now. They are able to look at things beyond the typical limitations of running a business.
I initially met Jeremy Allen of Little Eggs on the opposite side of a business transaction. And Jeremy's passion and the principles that guide his business and his personal life were just infectious. We then partnered with Little Eggs and Jeremy to help establish a child care center that Little Eggs is opening that will be used to service the employees of Maryland Live Casino.
So I've known Tony and Hans at Edwards and Hill for probably about 5 years. They're just great people. I love working with them because I don't just consider them a client, I consider them a friend. When you can have that kind of partnership with a company, that's when you get the best results. They're tremendous people and I just love working with them.